What's going on, you guys? In this episode of Stranded Alien Dawn, I'm going to attempt to get this going, the Ansible relay. However, I don't think I have enough power generation to maintain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the construction as we're one electronic away and a couple hundred concrete. Sorry, 40 concrete. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to get some more power generation just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Let's see here. Let's run it along the old fence. Much like our other portion on the left. My mind's jumbled right now. What are these called again? God, solar panels. I have 11 of them on my roof and I can't remember what they're called. I just got my workout done, so I'm a little fatigued. Let me go ahead and place some more over here. I mean, I do have some carbon, or had carbon on hand. Let me put there, just so that should cover us, I'm hoping. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add more solar generation. And what this will do is it'll help power these extra batteries that I'm going to place in. As you can see, we're draining power pretty fast here. So I'm really going to top this off. Okay. So I've gotten a lot done in these last episodes, like tremendous amounts of work done. I'm honestly surprised. All it took was those two bots to become operational for us. And we took off. And so what I'm looking for right now is a couple more nests to pick apart. Here we are. Let me go ahead and harvest this real quick. Hunt these things down. And then there's only one nest formation? What is this? I see two. Is that the same nest formation? Oh, it's gotta be. Oh, I see a little bit of metal over here too. Let me go ahead and mine that up. A little bit over here that I can mine up as well. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Alright, so we're going to take out the rest of these bug nests. Hopefully that'll give us the nanotubes that we need to complete the remainder of the panels over there, as well as the turbines. Missing a decent amount of metal. Oh, the electronics. All those electronics. Not to be worried about that, you guys. We'll knock all of those out, hopefully, during this video. Now, this is going to potentially be a two-part video, assuming that I can get the power consumption for the Ansible relay managed. The nighttime, it really kills me during the nighttime because we don't have enough wind generation to keep things powered. The Ansible does add about another 150, or was it 500? I think it was 500 power consumption, so just ridiculous amounts of power, you guys. And I'm losing my bots left and right. What is this? Let's go ahead and deselect some of these for butcher. We don't need the parts. I mean, we're still maintaining bug parts even without having to butcher anything, which I don't know how that's possible. I know that they're in the freezer, and that when things are in the freezer, they last pretty much forever. But at the same time, you'd think I would be making something with it instead of just, sitting on it. And that's a new part. Oh, it's attached to, okay. I haven't seen this part before. Huh. Cool. So they have variety. I like that. Why is there battle music? I don't know. Okay, so after that, let's go and take this one down. I might need to grab Ember and force her to harvest the battle drones really quickly. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do real fast. Come here, Ember. Alright, so let's move up over here. Let's find our drones. Oops. Okay, so that's both drones. Let me find Ember again. I messed up here. I accidentally clicked on the item with X instead of triangle. And there we go. She's on her way to salvage the battle drones. So it's been a very busy weekend, you guys. We, and by we I mean the inhabitants of my house, as well as next door, we got our fence up, finally. You know, I paid for all the material. We did majority of the labor. It's not completely done yet. We have their portion of the labor coming in tomorrow. My side of the labor was myself, and you know, I hired my father-in-law, as he's got a lot of construction knowledge, so it was very useful. You know, I'm more, you know, gutters and, you know, roofing, so I didn't really, you know, the ins and outs and woodworking and all that stuff. So it was really refreshing to have somebody on hand that did. So we got all of the foundations poured, we got all of the posts placed, all of the support beams in place, and we just more or less tacked up the grass board. We secured the grass board, and then we more or less tacked up the planks. So tomorrow we're going to do a little bit more support work for the grass board, and then we're going to secure the rest of the fence. Place a couple more brackets for the supports. It's going to be a long day. Thankfully, I don't have to do it. I just have to make sure that everything's going according to plan. You know, as they will be on my portion of the fence or the property, and I do have some things out there that I probably should bring in, but I'll be out there, so no worries. And honestly, I trust my neighbors. They're really cool people. One of them, the one who's taking care of all the finances, came over and, you know, overpaid me. I was really surprised, like really surprised. You know, I expected to be paid exactly, if not, you know, maybe shorted $1 or two. No, they overpaid by $9. Which most people are like, oh, that's only $9. But, you know, at the same time, in this economy, you guys, $9 is a lot. So I've got some really cool neighbors. Wish I could say that about all of my neighbors. The ones down the street, we seem to have some sort of grudge match going on. You know, they initially were doing donuts right outside my house, like not even on the corner, but right in front of my house. So they're doing donuts, and they're, you know, peeling out, coming around my corner, which I do live on the corner. Like, they're coming around my corner at speed, you know, tires screeching. You know, if my kid's out there, they don't have enough time to avoid. So I've gone down and talked to them several times and said, hey, listen, you guys need to, you know, slow it down on this corner right here. And, you know, honestly, when it comes to the sideshow activity, you know, it doesn't bother me as much, but at the same time, you know, I was raised with I was raised to not poop where you eat. You know, you don't do that kind of stuff where you live, because everybody knows you. They know you by name. They know your vehicle. It's not hard for them to be like, okay, yeah, this guy right here, he lives right there. He was doing it. You know, we've got rings and stuff, ring cameras up. So, you know, obviously, I'm not going to call the cops on him. I'm the kind of person that would rather go down and, you know, discuss it. Obviously, if you're calling the cops on people all the time, they're just going to, you know, hate you more and more and more, and they're not going to want to work with you. So, you know, I like to try and be an adult before I be a kid. You know, I like to try and use my words, use my intellect to try and which I'm not all that smart, but at least I'm going and trying to talk to them and let them understand, hey, this is what's going on. It's not safe. We've got little kids that live, we've got little kids across the street on both houses. You have my house with my little one. My next door neighbor has two little girls. This entire section of the street, which is the corner, both corners, we've got little kids. You know, 4 houses deep that I know of. I know the people on my side next to my neighbor have kids, and I'm not sure. I think the people like all 6 houses right here on the corner have kids. So I've tried talking to them, and then we managed to sort that out a little bit, and then mother-in-law, while coming to visit, sped up almost. She swerved around the guy. I don't know what was going on. Maybe she wasn't paying attention. I'm not going to make any excuses for anybody. But he came down and talked to us. He could have called the cops, but he came down and talked to us. So honestly, I think I do have some pretty cool ass neighbors. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I don't live in the nicest part of town, so having good neighbors in this section of town is, a godsend. Yeah, getting a lot done. As I sit over here and talk your ear off while looking at bug parts. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting sidetracked. It happens. Only to me. Now, I have to get sidetracked a little bit. Let's see what's going on back at base. Alright, so generation, that right there is going to dwindle. And I did try to build this already, and I played about 40 minutes. And it wasn't the heat wave, it was something else that really put a damper on my power generation. I think it was a double event. So we have the heat wave right now, which isn't too bad. It's manageable now that I've got more variety to my power. It's not killing me as much. But we're gonna have a second event, and then after the heat wave disappears, I think there's another event. So it's like a trifecta of the game not wanting me to succeed. So we're going to focus. Again, I'm not sure if this is going to be the 2-part episode. I want it to be a 2-part episode. I want to get some power generation, and I want to get the Ansible built, and begin the 1-hour long process of this reaching out to Earth and getting a message sent. That way they can come back and save us. If the power goes out, you have to restart that process all over. So I'd already tried to record this, which is why I now know that I need more power. I'm not going to just try and do a recording. I do like to try and allow you guys to succeed as much as I try to progress my playthrough. If I record something and I'm not satisfied with the progression, or if I'm not satisfied with it in general, I'll obviously re-record it. I've re-recorded videos that I had amazing gameplay but really bad commentary. My commentary is still something I'm working on. Honestly, I meant to have this just be a strictly gaming channel. We talk exclusively about the game we're playing, maybe a little couple other things, some other games, but it seems to be turning into a real life, an IRL chat / gaming channel. It's not a live stream IRL, so you really can't talk with me, but you're able to hear about my life a little bit. It's refreshing when you hear somebody else's perspective and know that you're not the only one struggling. We're all struggling. It's really good to hear that. It sucks that we're struggling, but it's refreshing to know that the world isn't out to get us, that we're not being singled out. At least that's how I feel. I'd rather know that there's more people out there suffering, alongside me than me suffering by myself. But to be honest, I'd rather there be no suffering. But it's the world we live in. One day, maybe our great-great-grandchildren will, live in the world that I envision. A world free of, nonsensual politics, where you have old rich people trying to make themselves richer. It's like, honestly, I understand that you that everybody wants to amass wealth, right? It's just a part of who we are. We want to know that not only our generation, our children, but their children and their children and their children will be, taken care of. But at the same time, there's just, certain things called too much money. When you know that your great 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 grandkids can be buying Ferraris and not even be concerned about about anything. The Elon Musk type of wealthy guys. I mean, if that man were to give 0.00001% of his wealth away to everybody, we'd be set. That's like $10,000 to everybody. That's stupid amounts of money, you guys. I mean, most people wouldn't be set. They'd be able to get out of some of their debt, like myself. I'd be able to pay off my current debts. Amassed rebuilding this monstrosity of a house, trying to get it ready to sell. But that at least is looking good for me so far. I'm gonna make my return. Bought the property at 376,000. Got a pool built onto it, some solar panels installed, removed a bunch of the trash, a bunch of rock and just ugly landscaping. Put in some better stuff, and the property value's already jumped $40,000. So I'm looking good, so long as the market don't crash. But that money that I'm gonna make on this house is just gonna go to buying a new one and setting my kid, setting money away for when I'm gone. Maybe one day I'll get a PC. Probably won't though. Something really has to change in our society for me to be able to attain one of those. And I'm on a fixed income disability with the VA. Unemployability is 15% of it, which means I can't go out and work. If I work, I lose, that 15% of my disability, and that's a big portion. That's the difference between. No, I'm not going to tell you. There's no need for me to tell you my finances, but that's a big chunk of money. And the only reason it's unemployability is because I'm too young, and they don't want to cover everything. I'm being covered for quite a few things, but they don't want to cover me for my back, my knees, my hips. The damage that was sustained during my time as an airborne infantryman. I was jumping out of airplanes, much like in Call of Duty, but instead of free fall, it was a static line. You get 4 seconds of free fall as the line unfurls the parachute, and then you parachute in. So pretty much what you guys are doing in Call of Duty, I was doing in real life. Jumping in behind enemy lines and securing anything that we needed to secure. That would have been, like, if in a big legitimate war, that would have been my role. I would have jumped in behind like anti-aircraft emplacements, gun emplacements. Like, for instance, the beach of Normandy. I would have been dropped in behind them about 10, 15 miles, and then we would have cleared the back portion, keeping the enemy from retreating, while the forward advancing units took care of what they had to do. That's what my job was. That was Call of Duty, you guys. It wasn't Special Forces or Rangers or anything, but Airborne was pretty fun, and they don't want to cover me for it. I've got some really bad knees, some really banged up hips. My back is torn up. I'm 38 now, but back when I started trying to work on my disability when I was 26, I'd already had 3 ruptured discs in my lower spine. The lower lumbar. I had 3 ruptured discs. The spacing, the padding between the bone, essentially ruptured the material out, which it bulges first. So I had bulging discs, and then those discs ruptured. So I have some bone on bone. It hurts sometimes, especially during the winter. It really hurts. I can feel it when I get up in the mornings, especially in the mornings. So they don't want to cover me for that, because then I'd be 100% disabled, service connected, and on top of that, I'd be able to make money from any other source. And I'm 38. They don't want that for me. At least I feel like they don't want that. That's just setting me up for an easy life. Yeah, we can't have that, you guys. Nobody's allowed to have an easy life, even if their body's broken. Now, thankfully, I have all my limbs, and I can only imagine what it's like to be one of my brothers out there, with a missing limb. It's got to be a really hard life. I mean, obviously you find a way to maintain, but that quality of life is always going to be slightly diminished. And I salute anybody who's ever lost a limb. It doesn't matter if you've lost it during a war, or if you lost it, before you were born, or an accident. That's you guys. You guys are tough. You like most people have no idea what it's like to have to wake up and you have a part of yourself missing that'll always be gone. We take it for granted so much. All right, that's enough IRL. Let's go ahead and peep what's going on. About 21 minutes in. All right, so I'm researching some carbon. Oh, our last three research objects. Very nice, very nice. Malfunctioning battery. Our food stocks are always going to be on point now that we have. Is this turned on? That's turned on and that's turned on. It's going to be on point now that we have food generation due to the service bar right here. When it's not doing what it needs to do out there, it's in here cooking. And then you have the harvest bot, which is out here. Gotta love my butlers. These need to get repaired. What am I missing? Metal alloys. Right, so I think it is time for Ken to go out and do some salvaging. As the last time he was out, he was getting a decent supply of metal alloys, as well as the scrap metal that will turn into metal alloys. Let's go ahead and select anything that's relatively close by. Obviously, we're gonna have to trek out for some of it, but that's fine. The harvest bot also runs out and salvages, so I'll have that little extra tidbit of resources coming in. Now it's not as great as having Ken do it all, doing it all. Obviously, the bots don't have that 2x scrap harvest ability, but at this point in the game, it doesn't matter. We're already approaching the end game. Oh no, honestly, we're in the end game. I've already got the Ansible placed. I'm just missing 2 electronics and was it 20 or 40 cement? Which I already have that on hand. We've got 170 of it, so the second I reactivate it, the only thing we're really going to be waiting on is some electronics. Mainly because I have it allocated elsewhere. However, the moment that I do select it to be built, it will replace any other current selected built object as it was placed first. So then they'll go and they'll build it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some spaceship debris. Let me see, where's a good one? Let's take out this one. And I'm going to send... What's Jack doing? Repairing? I'm going to send Jack. And all he's doing is reconstructing and repairing turrets. So I'm going to allow him to get a little bit of work done. And this right here is the solar flare, you guys. This is what really put a damper. As you see, there's not enough power. Even in here, the power is starting to dwindle. And that's after placing a couple more. We got these 2 that have been added in. So yeah, that extra 16 generation is coming in handy. But when night hits, the solar flares are really going to hurt me. That 3368 is going to drop down to about 700, and the consumption's, it's going to stay at 1400, and it's going to just plummet. All of my power is going to drain. Plus, you have to keep in mind, the Ansible is another 500. So we'd be just about 2,000 consumption, not the 1,400 that you see now. But don't worry, you guys. I'm not going to set us up for failure. As you see, we have more batteries. We have more power generation on the way. And as soon as this is all built, or at least somewhat built, partially built, I'll get the Ansible going. And we'll pray for the best. Honestly, I should probably wait. things over here are beginning to break left and right. There we go, we got some metal. That's going to go straight into creating electronics, as the electronics require metal and silica. 10 for 10 or a 1 for 1, however you want to look at it. But to create it, it's a yeah, it's like a 1 for 1, because you get 10 for creating. Oh, nice! He got some metal alloys and some electronics. Exactly what I wanted Jack to find. No, honestly, I didn't think he'd find electronics, but you know, the metal is huge. He found 7 electronics. Or hold on, is that him, or is that just from over here with Ken? Ken could have just salvaged that too. Let me take a look real quick, you guys. Oh, that's totally Ken. I can't wait to see how much Jack brings back. That's gonna be massive. Hope he brings back like 20. I could honestly care less about the metal. The metal will get supplied here shortly. But everything else, you know, let's go ahead and remove the concrete. I don't need concrete anymore. I'm on my highest tier, and honestly, concrete, I only needed it for the Ansible. So go ahead and deselect it unless you want to stock up on it for whatever you might want to do with it. You know, obviously, me ending my series doesn't mean you have to end yours. But I am going to try and, you know, work on... Oh, we only got 5. 5 is 5. It's better than 0. But yeah, just because I'm going to be ending my series soon and completing it doesn't mean you have to. You know, more or less, I've created the blueprint for your success to continue to thrive for the remainder of your time on this scenario. Honestly, I'm actually interested on how far I can go. We're almost at 10 years now in game. A decade for these people on the planet. Not gonna lie, they've got a lot done. I've got a lot done. Well, them, honestly, because all I did was just place where things go, and then they harvest and build it. Another ceiling lamp put out, so we're starting to need more metal again. Oh, thank God. All right, so let's take another look around now that it's daytime. Let me see if there's some salvageables that might be a little bit closer at hand. I mean, maybe not. Oh, I'm still not used to these controls. Uh-oh, my LAN cable. Hopefully that doesn't interfere with the recording. Let me take a look. Nope, we're still going strong. Sweet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my Ethernet. I think it might be the cable on my console, like the connector in the back, might be starting to come a little loose. I'm not sure. But I know it's starting to annoy me. So I might just remove it altogether. I'm gonna try and just push it in here and see if it goes away. Okay, I think it went away. Yeah, nothing's popping up. Okay, I think we're good. Honestly, I didn't do anything but just, you know, push the plug in. It didn't even push in. Alright, so we have most of the turrets have reconstructed over here. I really want to add another area, but I don't have the carbon for it, and I don't want to waste the concrete. So, let me see here. What if I can... Let me add at least the concrete to this. And everybody should be back at base. Yeah, everybody's back at base, so I don't have to worry about nothing. Okay. Go ahead and pause construction on that again. Okay, she's hard at work. I did add this big. Oh, yeah, you guys already know. I've had a couple days off, so I'm not, remembering when exactly I did some of this stuff. But dang, love the rockets. Alright, let's go ahead and pause it up, you guys. We're going to select all our survivors just to make sure they don't get hurt, and to the roof with them. Where's Rita? Rita, if you would be so kind, board the mech. There's plenty of time for you to get in there. And now that we moved the Air Force to the front lines, they now engage the enemy once they approach the fence, which is something I'm desperately going to need them to do. However, I'm not sure if I have enough anti-air support for back here for the flyers when they decide to show up. I know I have enough on the front line. Oh yeah. Well, honestly, it's a 6 for 6. The front line over here is a little bit more spaced out, but yeah, this should be enough. I have 5 concentrator right here. Obviously, you want to have the flat cannons towards the back of the base when you do the Ansible. That way you can have it covered by the air support, as ground units are going to be they're going to be busy for a while. Now let me see here. We'll go ahead and hit the barrage one time over here. Boom. What's going on over here? And Hungry Pest? Come on. This game is ruthless. They don't want to see me succeed. But you know what? Bring it on, game. I will take care of the pest with Rita here in a moment. I'm going to send her out into the field. I'm just waiting for all of the angry bugs to be dead. There we go. Now let's get her in position to kill off everything else. Have at it, Rita. Oh, she got her combat level up. Nice. Yeah, having this super mech is really useful. I know it's just called a heavy mech. I'm gonna call it a super mech because it's getting this woman leveled up. She went from a 3 combat to a 9 over the last couple times I've had her use this. Now, if I could stay at 3 times fast forward, it would be great. She's already killed half the pests. Although she is going to be going to sleep here shortly. Hope she can kill them all off. To be honest, I don't mind the bugs eating what they're eating. I've got plenty of resources. My fields are always full. So, go ahead and bring it back. I'm going to deselect Lara and Ember. Let them get back to work. Didn't realize the hour. Oh, there's a bunch of them over here. Going after my silica. Go get him, Rita. Nice. Alrighty. And unboard and dismount. And undraft. Everybody off to bed with you. Ton of resources I'm short on. And for good reason. Alright, well, if I don't get this started now, I'll probably never get to it. I really don't want to get it started, though, just to fail. But I'll give it a shot. If I don't complete it in 2 episodes, then my apologies, you guys. But let's get this going. I already have 2 more wind turbines. So hopefully that'll, help out a little bit. And then I have a bunch of other power that's going to be being built to help supplement. Yeah, more or less we're just waiting on metal and waiting on electronics. Looks like I have a decent supply of silica right there. Didn't even need to zoom in to see that I had a ton of silica on those shelves. Which, when you get everything sorted and you know where they're at, you don't really need to zoom in to see what you got. Like, I've got some cotton right here, I've got some leather right next to it. See, cotton, leather. I wasn't quite sure what that was. I know that's synthetic materials. You got the leaf. I think that's one of the plants, like the shroom thing. What's it called? No, not that shelf. This shelf. What's it called? Buzz shrooms. Yes, that's right. So, at a quick glance, you can see what you have on hand. And then if you really need in-depth detail, you just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so they're repairing the turret. Hopefully, as soon as these turrets get online, they'll start picking off the remainder of these pests, which honestly they should. It attacks anything that's in range. Ken and Jack are, bonding. Good for them. Let's go ahead and speed up time. Here, come on, laser turret. Get to work. Oh, never mind. All the pests are running away. They got their fill. That's fine. Alright, Melody is unarmed. So let's go ahead and hook her up. Yeah, let's, I'm gonna give her a pulse rifle while I peep what she's doing. So we got the defense box and we got the force field barriers, and then that's it, you guys. That's all the research. It's everything. Everything I have at my fingertips is either built or able to be built. Aside from the force field barriers and the, I called them the Marines in the last video because I thought it was going to be like a bipedal dog-like creature. Obviously, Marines call themselves the Devil Dogs, and it was a red robot, so I thought it would be fitting. It turns out it is a bipedal red robot, so it could still be a Marine. I might put some of those in, but at the same time, that's power that I need for the relay. So I think I'm just going to use what I have. Yeah, I'm just going to use what I have and pray for the best. Pray for the best. And while this is going on, I'm going to mute my mic really quickly and get a cup of coffee going because I want to try and get this done for you guys tonight. I already have 2 videos that need to be uploaded still. Usually I wait until all my videos are uploaded to then record the next batch just in case something during the recording or before, like I've had videos that were just completely wiped on my console, 0 seconds, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, black screen. When you click on it, it says sorry unavailable. But then when you look at, you back out and you look at the thing, it tells you if there's an actual time on it. There's a video, like thumbnail and everything. So I don't know what's going on with that. So that's typically what I would do, is do the 3 recordings, upload them, take a couple nights off, rest up, which generally doesn't go so easily. Rest up, and then get back at it. But I want to get this series done. I'm really excited. I want to see what the ending is for this one. I know with the last one, We had a nice little cutscene where it gave us like a year by year of what we did, how many bugs we killed, what we got done, what we researched, what I built, all of that fun stuff. So I'm interested in how I progressed this time as opposed to last time. Let me take a look. We need one more electronic, and I believe it is being constructed right now, you guys. Here's that electronic. So since we're on the stage of electronics, I'm gonna pause it just temporarily. You know, since this is going to be a two-part video, I want to get at least 40 minutes done, if I can. Or at the very least, try and get what I can done in the hour that I might have available, and then, yeah, do a two-part video, or, you know, I'll figure it out. But I don't want you guys to just be sitting here with filler. You know, this isn't going to be a filler. We're going to get some stuff done. All my research is pretty much finished now. I'm going to send Rita on that distress signal. It would always be nice to have a seventh member. But honestly, I think when it comes to the military outpost mission, I think you'll only ever be able to use the 6 that you get to pick yourself. Now, typically, somebody would have walked on by now. You know, you always get somebody that's going to walk on some point in your playthroughs. You know, more often than not, there has been one of my several playthroughs that didn't have that happen, which was crazy. But typically you'll have one person walk on, or you'll find somebody out and about. You know, it is a random chance. RNGesus has to be a friend of yours for you to find people. Hold on, let me mute me up real quick. Sorry about that. Coffee cups must have been, you know, pretty loud. My apologies. And I recently turned the microphone up on my headset here. It is a microphone headset combo, the Skull Crusher Evo. It's a wireless headset that I have plugged into my controller. But if the audio still sounds muffled, you guys, my apologies. I can't raise the audio anymore without, you know, just completely eclipsing the game audio. And I want there to be, you know, like a balance between the two of them. I want you to be able to hear my voice, but I also want you to be able to hear the sounds in game. So until I can afford a microphone, which I'm not sure when that'll happen, you know, the whole fixed income thing, all the money that isn't going into my house goes towards my kid. And I'm barely able to afford a game every so often. And that's usually like, I don't even afford it. I get gifted them either through my birthday or, you know, Christmas. Hypothermia. And I bury the poor soul. Rita, your combat's level 9 now. You don't have nothing to worry about. You will destroy everything. Or is it level 10? I don't even know anymore. Take a look. Nope, she's still just a 9. Okay. Well, she's my second strongest. Huh. Nice. Good for you, Rita. Good for you. What are you doing, Ken? I see you over there. Repairing a freezer. Okay. Oh yeah, because we're salvaging the electronics. Yes. That's gonna be massive. I can finally get everything constructed over here. And I have way more. Oh yeah, we're getting this done right now, you guys. This is the next thing being built right now. Let's go. Come on, game. Why is there concrete being crafted? I just seen concrete being moved. There it is. Get rid of that. It's gotta be somewhere else. That was on the bottom of the list. Huh. I don't know. Weird. Okay, so we have the silicon and we have the metal. And we both have, it's just silicon and silicon. Hold on. Oh, that's right. I forgot I reconstructed it. So I'm gonna just pump out metal alloys as we have a surplus. An absolute surplus, you guys. Of silicon. So that's gonna keep all the electronics rolling. So as this is being built and using power, these are also going to be built alongside it to help produce more power. And then I'm going to micromanage. I'm going to, obviously, as you see here, we have more production than consumption. But you know how I like my double. So after all these are done, I'm going to work on that. And then I'm going to work on triple and maybe even quadruple. It's only, an hour that we have to sit here and wait for this thing to be powered. So I'm going to utilize as much of that time as I can. Just building and stockpiling power so that if anything does happen, that hour will be squared away and we won't have anything to worry about. That scavenge, that needs to hurry up. I don't like those last two. Alright, so Jack's getting to work on the Ansible. Rita's got a cold. Old equipment. Who cares? You guys are going to be out of here in an hour. Typically, I would make sure to upkeep the armor and maybe even stockpile more. Just so that you're not waiting for somebody to go and craft more if they don't have that selected. Like Melody here, for instance, when she's done researching, she's probably going to come over here and start working on something in one of these benches. That's probably going to be the tailoring. If I'm being honest, she's probably going to make some new clothing. Ken and Jack, they can also be doing that stuff, but they've got building set first. Mainly because I've got these little guys handling everything. So, since everything is being stocked, being handled, everything's being put in, I can just have them run in and build it real quick. Now, what do these need? Just electronics. Alrighty. Alright, Ken's getting back to the Ansible. Let me get back to over here. Okay, so we're at nighttime and we're at 33. That's amazing. Alright, here we go. Let's begin this hour. It's going to be a two-part, hopefully. It looks like we do have enough generation currently. It kicked up to 1775. Ooh, 1 year off from the founding of our country. Well, my country. 1776. Signing of the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia. Honestly, Philadelphia should have been the capital. And that's what I feel. It should have been the capital of the country instead of Washington, D.C. I understand Washington, D.C., why it was chosen. Obviously, it's closer to the coastline. Closer to the coast. And it's more centralized on the 13 colonies where they were located, so it's more centralized for the 13 themselves. So it's more like the heart of the country. It really was. Everything flowed through Washington. D.C., I'm not talking about the state. But everything flowed through Washington. So they made it the capital instead of Philadelphia, which I believe Philadelphia was the capital for like a little while, for like the first year or two until the White House was built, which the original White House was burned down by the British. Thank you, England. We appreciate you. You and your tea tax. And I love the Brits. You guys are great. It's just unfortunate, the past struggles that our two countries had. And now we're allies. I've been to England myself. Obviously, I haven't, explored proper England. I went to London. Yeah, I know. That's not England, that's London. Yeah. I went to London and went to a pub. Obviously, it's not going to be the same experience as you would find, anywhere else in the country. But I do have plans to go back and explore. I have a couple friends uh, from when I was in the military that opted to stay back over there. One of them is currently living in England. One's in Ireland. I have a buddy in Italy, a buddy in two buddies in Germany, and a friend in Amsterdam. So I do plan on going back, doing a road trip with my wife and visiting them and their families, seeing how they've been, catching up on everything. It's been 18, 19 years since I've been out of the service, something like that. A lifetime. And then let me go ahead and place that down. Let me cancel that one. Cancel this one. And I'm going to place this one directly parallel with that one. And then I'm going to move this one directly parallel with this one. And that should keep everything completely powered over here. Minutes. Already got a decent chunk of this done. Let me take a look at my power. Oh, we're doing good, you guys. I think this is the playthrough right here. Yep, this is the winning one. Putting these extra power sources was, crucial. Crucial. However, where are the bug attacks? I was supposed to have been attacked by now. Oh well, I'm not going to jinx myself. But let's go ahead and get some more. Oh, these are expensive, I forgot. That's 30 extra power, and they'll add up quick. I think we have enough. 5 flat cannons on the Ansible itself, plus one over here, which kind of covers majority of it, so that's 6. And then these. Ooh, sorry about that. I just need. Hopefully I meet it in time. But we got the 6 on this side, and then we have, I want to say up to this one. Yeah, up to that one, so there's 4 more over here that are covering it. And then even that one covers part of it. And then unfortunately this one won't cover. Oh, that covers a sliver. It touches the corner. Good times. So what needs all the electronics? Oh yeah. This right here is gonna need all the electronics. Did I swap this yet? Nope. Production times forever. Production times forever. There we go. And now I have metal rolling in. Keep this rolling. Yeah, I've only got one. Oh, never mind. She's going to get some stuff. Yeah, buddy. Is Ken still out here working? Ken? The bot is. Where's Ken? Going to sleep. At 1 o'clock, dude? Really? Ooh, here we go. Here's where I need to find out what's going on. Solar flare, 32 affected devices. I'm still at abundance. However, the nighttime, guys, the nighttime might hurt me, but not by a lot. I think I'm still good. If anything, I'll be 200 over on the consumption to my production, which that won't kill me. It's gonna weaken my battery, obviously, but I think we're good. Yeah, we're just we're 3 under. Empty in 4 years. Yeah, we're golden. Something else really has to affect the win for me to get just beat down into the ground right now. What do you mean outside working hours? Yes. Okay. Good times, you guys. Ansible's getting established. We're getting extra power. About to start adding the extra batteries, as that's what comes after this. There's 3 more of these, 2 more of these, so that's 6 electronics that I have to build. So 2 rotations of the automated handling that the robot's doing. So that'll be going all night, all day, all night. Ansible isn't really killing me, even with its 500 consumption. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But all of our research is completed. Nothing left to do here. It's music night. Do I have 6? I do. Okay. Yeah, there's 6 musical instruments. Go ahead and do your music night. Man, I'm excited. I'll be able to start my next playthrough. Though I might take... I don't know if I want to take a break now. I mean, I do want to get some more Jurassic World uploaded to the channel. I was a little too hasty in judging it, as I've been with majority of my videos. I'll look at the video one day, the first day, and be like, okay, 9, 20, 25, which is amazing. I greatly appreciate you guys, anybody who clicks on my video. Anybody who's made it this far to hear me, thank you. Obviously, thank you. You guys are tremendous. You're a tremendous help to this channel. This is almost as much your channel it is mine now. All I'm here to do is provide entertainment for you. You guys are keeping the channel going. You're keeping my morale going. You guys are commenting. You're hitting that like button. I salute every single one of you. And with that, I believe it is time to end this video. Hopefully, we didn't go over. Oh, almost 57, almost 58 minutes. Perfect, perfect. So, I'm going to thank you now, again, for the 5th time. I really am appreciative of you guys. You have no idea. You guys are working, you have no idea how much you guys are affecting my mental. It is good times, you guys. My mental hasn't been this good since the birth of my daughter. Well, obviously my mental has been great after the birth of my daughter and ever since then. But, it's just been something else. So thank you guys again. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. You guys take care, you stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next episode where we finish this bad boy off. All right, later, guys.